Good morning, and welcome to All Souls. And welcome to all of those joining us virtually and apologies. Good morning, and welcome to those of you joining us virtually and those of you present here at All Souls Unitarian Church of Indianapolis. Either way, I hope you're still in your pajamas. I am Graham Cannon. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be serving as the worship associate for today's service, together with Sarah Cannon, pronouns she, her, Director of Children's and Community Programming, and Nasreen Khan, pronouns she, her, Communications and Programs Coordinator. We are your worship team on the chancel today. Marion County is currently at medium risk for COVID cases, so we ask that you wear masks in the sanctuary and atrium during religious services only. Love is the spirit of all souls. If you are visiting us this morning, we are glad you are here with us. Our nursery is open but unstaffed today, and people of all ages are welcome in service. We invite you and everyone present to please complete a connection card. This card helps us know how best to stay connected and support you on life's journey. We'll welcome you and invite you to bring with you this morning your whole self as you join us in worship. And please know that if you would like some extra support for this life's journey, our caring team is an extension of the ministry team and is here to support you. You can reach them by calling All Souls and selecting their extension, or by emailing pastoralcare@allsoulsindy.org. Our Souls Matter theme this month is Finding Our Center. Sign up for the check-in in the know to get the packet, and so you can engage with the materials at home or at All Souls in person and online. Now for a few quick announcements. Registration is now open for K-1 OWL program. OWL, Our Whole Lives, offers holistic, inclusive, developmentally appropriate sexuality education for people of all ages. To register, please contact Sarah or find more information in our publications or on posted flyers around the church. In this moment of our shared journey, may you feel witnessed and honored wherever you are in your journey. And may you remember that whether you are here for the first time or the 1,000th, whoever you are, whoever you love, whatever your ability, gender beliefs, political affiliation, or documentation status, you are welcome here, and you are never alone. Let us now greet our neighbors, especially new or returning people.
Do you want a chair so that you can face me?
I'm
Really?
That's fine.
Yeah. I can, but
Burning the Old Year by Naomi Shihab Nye. Letters swallow themselves in seconds. Notes friends tied to the doorknob. Transparent scarlet paper sizzles like moth wings, marries the air. So much of any year is flammable. Lists of vegetables, partial poems, orange swirling flame of days. So little is a stone. Where there was something and suddenly isn't, an absence shouts, celebrates, leaves a space. I begin again with the smallest numbers. Quick dance, shuffle of losses and leaves, only the things I didn't do crackle after the blazing dies. Apologies for my chalice necklace making noise. The ritual of lighting our chalice reminds us to continually renew our promise to live into our covenant, to put love in action, and to live out the community of love and justice we aim to be. Please rise in body or spirit as Alan Schmidt lights our chalice for the first time. And we say these adapted chalice lighting words from James Villa Blake, the same words we have spoken since 1903. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. Thank you.
Since I was here in front of you and not in the choir loft or hidden away somewhere. New Year's can be such a hard time for so many people. I think any new beginning is difficult. The birth of a baby, the start of a new relationship, a marriage, a new pet, buying a new house. And this portion of our service is called Joys and Sorrows, and there's no better metaphor for something that exhibits both joy or embodies both joy and sorrow than a new beginning, like a new year. And so I invite you to hold all of the joys of this past year and all of the sorrows of this past year. Normally, during this period of time, I would say some things about the various joys that our community is going through, the various sorrows that our community is going through. But today I invite you to go through your own personal litany of sorrows and your own personal photo book of joys from this last year, and just sit with me in silence for a moment. Thank you so much for coming this morning to sit in joy and to sit in sorrow and to recommit to the sharing of both of those in this new year together.
So this is a different sort of service today. One where we all share readings that mean something to us, whether they inspire us or make us laugh or give us hope or speak to an experience we had this year. You may have brought poems with you, and there are also many books at the ends of the pews and up here on the quilts as well for you to explore. Nasreen and I will pass the microphone so that each person who wishes to share a poem is included. And when you're not sharing, you can simply receive, sitting in whatever position is most comfortable for you, eyes open or closed, hands busy or still. There's soul work available on the quilts, and also just outside the sanctuary doors, and people of all ages are welcome to use it. You're also welcome to either stay where you are or move up a little bit. It's actually fine to sit up here on the stairs with us as well, if that's something that you feel called to do. So, Graham has our handheld microphone. Is there anyone who brought a poem that they already know that they would like to share?
Is it on? Okay. Viruses are contagious. So is panic, fear, hysteria, calm, love, enthusiasm, kindness, joy. Choose wisely.
This is by Wendell Berry, The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
Well, I was going to bring green eggs and ham, but I couldn't find it. But interestingly enough, I just happened to open this book that Sarah had on the pew, and I think this is really appropriate for a lot of us right now. When you are weary, waking up is enough. Putting on shoes before you walk out on the wet leaves that plaster the driveway is enough. It is enough to love one person, one dog, one tree in a neighbor's yard, one 50-cent mug at the thrift store. You turn on the radio in the car. You let a minivan merge into your lane during rush hour. After 3 weeks of half darkness, you change the light bulb. It is enough to breathe, to put your face in your cold hands and tell your palms and empty kitchen that you don't know what else to do. You open the blinds just enough to see if the mail carrier has come today. You turn your head at the sound of a musician on the street corner, the guitar slightly out of tune. You buy bananas at the supermarket and eat all but one before they turn to mush. It is enough to be here, to drink cold water from the tap, to fall asleep on the couch with a cat in the crook of your knees. It is enough to be alive.
Lost by David Wagner. Stand still. The trees ahead and bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger, must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen. It answers, I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven. No two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you.
Or, hey, listen, here's a story for you. A friend of mine who's 96 years old and blind, but still living in her beach cabin, hears her cat capture a sparrow, which the cat then presents as a prize. My friend cradles the bird in a sponge, and goes to the front door and throws out the sponge, then goes to wash the dishes, only to realize she's using the sparrow, who objects strenuously. Now, this is a terrific story from every angle imaginable. Deft, murderous cat, sparrow who didn't die, lady giggling, the grin that just opened on your face, the child who will fall down laughing later when you say, "Now here's a story."
That made me want to snitch the mic because I have a poem for the nature lovers out there, especially the ones who are less than 3 feet tall. This is a poem by Douglas Florian called The Ibex. It is a poem about risk. The daring ibex risks its necks on scary, airy mountain treks. Each one must climb with skill complex, or else become an ex-ibex.
In college, I had the same roommate 3 out of the 4 years, and we're still in touch. Every year, she sends a Christmas card with, one of those mimeographed annual update letters. And every year, her update letter includes a haiku. So I'll read the haiku from 2016 and then the one from 2022. I saved these two and taped them up next to my computer. Winter comes for all. Gather the roses in bloom. Live life, laugh, and love. That was from 2016. From 2022, yes, there is hope from what Pandora has released, rising from the ashes.
Our offertory.
Morning, our offertory will go to supporting the Indiana Youth Group. Indiana Youth Group serves young people ages 12 through 24 who self-identify as LGBTQ+, as well as their allies. All programs and services are offered free of charge. Indiana Youth Group strives to provide safer spaces to build self-confidence, explore individualism, and develop friendships within the LGBTQ+ community. They promote a place of acceptance, equity, and restorative practice. To contribute, you can put cash or check into the collection plate, or, if online, you can go to allsoulsindy.org, where you will find a link that says Give to All Souls here on the left side. It's beneath the description for today's service. Thank you for your generosity in supporting the mission of All Souls and for your continued love for one another and for this world. Take this moment to make your gift. The morning offering may now be given and gratefully received. Now I'll share with you a poem of my choosing, What the Bard's Songs Say by Elizabeth Barrett. If you would tell your fortune in melody, go to a street that is filled with music. Pass the first busker you find. Stop at the second. Listen ahead for the third. The first is behind you, singing the song that pushes you forward. This is what drives you, hidden foundation of your resolve. The second is beside you, singing the song of companionship that comforts you. This is what gives you the strength to face your challenges. The third is before you, a distant dragon snarling in your path, claws coolly plucking your heartstrings. This is what you must overcome to continue your quest.
Who else has a poem to share this morning? I'll give you a moment to prepare. And I have more poems I could share. I probably always have more poems I could share. This is one of my favorites from when my kids were little. This is Escape at Bedtime by Robert Louis Stevenson. The lights from the parlor and kitchen shone out through the blinds and the windows and bars. And high overhead and all moving about, there were thousands of millions of stars. There ne'er were such thousands of leaves on a tree, nor of people in church or the park, as the crowds of the stars that looked down upon me and that glittered and winked in the dark. The dog and the plow and the hunter and all, and the star of the sailor and Mars, these shone in the sky, and the pail by the wall would be half full of water and stars. They saw me at last, and they chased me with cries, and they soon had me packed into bed. But the glory kept shining and bright in my eyes, and the stars going round in my head.
I have a lapel mic on. I'm so out of practice with these mics, I forgot I have a lapel mic on. We've been reading a lot of poems out of books, and I am so blessed in my life to have many friends that write poetry. And so my dear friend Aaron is here today playing fiddle and penny whistle for us. And I wanted to read a poem that he wrote about my son and I. After asking Elias what his favorite food is, he says pizza, then turns his hand curling down the front of your blouse as he leans back on your lap, letting his face drift behind the thick veil of your hair. He peers out from the darkness of your locks, the glints in his eyes unhid there as you gaze down on him, half in recognition, half in annoyance. He tells me with those eyes that are yours, this was my favorite food, how I grew to be stronger than Superman and faster than the speed of light. After a strong push on the tire swing, Elias gives a good boy kick at my hand on the return, not a mean one, only using his hands to stay on, showing me his agility and strength. I can go so high, he cries, but I can't go as high as the sun or into space, but you can fly as high as a tree, I say, pushing hard again, sending him into the leafy branches. He laughs and grabs them, swinging up so far up, they crowd his grinning face green. How fast will you have to travel, Mama, to keep up with a son who's faster than light? Some days waiting for him at the end of the world already, smiling and ready to receive, someday watching the shooting star of his precious and prodigal self disappear into night. See how he turns into you, even as he says, I look like Daddy, even after I say, how I see how his eyes and lips are yours, as he says, but I am different from her. She has glasses and long hair, his brow knitted in the conviction that he can escape you. I see how he turns into you, hoping his smile will heal strangers, that his body's strength will be into service for everyone unseen by the gods. Serendipitous, the brilliant heart of him shining its truth strength as a man, fast in the knowledge of love, of the love of a real mother. It is such a blessing to be seen by one's friends, by one's family, and perhaps in the journey of motherhood, which is so often unseen, that's been a true gift. If no one else has a poem to share, we can move into a closing hymn, and then we'll have our closing words. I want to hold space for anyone who maybe doesn't want to read a poem, but has a reflection or something on their heart to say, and there's no pressure, but I do want to hold that space. So if you have something that feels good to share, we'll pass the mic.
Oh, thank you. I get it. Okay, this is just a short little poem by John Geddes. I pray this winter be gentle and kind, a season of rest for the wheel of the mind.
I found a good poem here. Evolution. How beautiful that from timeless emptiness, from potential impossibility, the universe opened like a lotus flower. How beautiful that the stars whirled like dancers and galaxies spread their arms like dervishes to a music no one could yet hear. How beautiful that stones born in the womb of space gathered themselves up in a ring around the newborn sun and solidified into the vast globe beneath the foundation of this building. How beautiful that boiling seas yielded soft round life at last, which thickened into spines and fins and gaping mouths, which struggled to the land and gazed upon the steady stars without knowledge. How beautiful that scales stretched into feathers, and eggs became pouches, became wombs, which opened onto time and brought us forth with a shout. And how humbling the pages torn from the calendar of joy and doom, the crosses and chapel ceilings, the wars and hospices, the knowledge and uncertainty, the laughter and tears, the solitude and terror and hope. How surprising that we argue about mysteries, pose unanswerable questions, and pretend that we might one day be perfect, or even find a faithful measure of perfection. O love most high and most deep, the edge of our reaching and the limit of our sinking, may this silence sign for us all that we know, really know about the universe.
So this is not a poem, except that life is a poem. And one of my, I don't make resolutions, but one of my goals is kind of to be more open in this new year. So 3 years ago, actually, I should start over. Before that, my youngest son has a substance abuse problem. 3 years ago, he was on a motorcycle in Thailand and got hit by a car. And so it's been a long struggle coming back. But right now, he is in recovery. He's got a job. He's bought a car. And he's living with us, but he's probably going to be getting an apartment in the new year. So it really feels like a rebirth. And the most wonderful thing is now that, I wouldn't say he's substance-free, but he's more under control. And I can see the real person inside there and have a relationship with him. So that's one of my joys, kind of a bittersweet joy, I guess. But so thank you for letting me share that.
Oh, you have a laugh. You can't have this.
A really meaningful service of 20 people, and we have more books of poetry than we have people in the sanctuary right now. My New Year's Day tradition is to go for a hike and then go skinny dipping in the frigid cold. There have been years where we've had to break the ice in order to get into the water, and there have been years where it's unseasonably warm, and you can basically, sit on the bank afterwards. That's not part of my plan today. I've been sick for a couple weeks, and I don't know if it's just my last year in my 20s that is making me maybe averse to breaking the ice this year. But I want to read a Rainer Maria Rilke poem as our closing words today that kind of embodies that feeling of like acceptance. It's not really a change or a rebirth, and it's nothing quite so dramatic as that. It's just like a deep pleasure in living the mundanity of each day and the various ups and downs of our relationships that can be thrilling and loving and infuriating, but are mostly just kind of conversations about dishes and who picks the kid up at school. And that's a really beautiful thing. Rilke writes, "Sunset. Slowly the west reaches for clothes of new colors, which it passes to a row of ancient trees. You look, and soon these two worlds both leave you. One part climbs towards heaven, one sinks to earth, leaving you not really belonging to either. Not so hopelessly dark as that house that is silent, not so unswervingly given to that eternal as that thing that turns to a star each night and climbs, leaving you. It is impossible to untangle the threads, your own life timid and standing high and growing, so that sometimes blocked in, sometimes reaching out. One moment, your life is a stone in you, and the next, a star." As we go out into our new year and into the rest of our day, I hope that you are able to find peace and that you are able to find groundedness when life is a stone and when it is a star. Thank you for coming today. You're on.